You're watching this because perhaps you think, maybe I have, maybe I haven't, or something is curious, but you've lost your sparkle and you don't know how to get it back. You feel maybe a little bit pessimistic, not all the time, but kind of hangs around there a little bit. You feel irritated. People irritate you. Bored. Sometimes you're really bored. And most likely, very tired. Okay, tired of certain situations, or just plain tired. Tired in the sense that you can't sleep. Tired in the sense that you've had enough. Tired that you need some kind of adjustment and change, but you don't know what it is or how to access it. Some days you think, oh my God, there must be something wrong with me. Everyone else seems to be all right. There must be something wrong with me. I have a character flaw. And I must be so ungrateful because I must have some kind of character flaw because everyone else seems to be all right about these things. And this character flaw, I'll have to fix it somehow. Don't know how, we'll have to fix it. You work hard. You work seriously hard. But everyone else seems to get the results. You work hard. You work hard on yourself. Yet everybody else seems to be the happy ones and getting the results much quicker than you do. And do you know what? Sometimes that will really pee you off. Why don't you get the same? Often, for a sensitive, there is a secret sadness that you cover in tiredness, fatigue, and the belief that if you could just change XYZ, whatever that is, if you could just change the job, if you could just change the relationship, you could just change where you live, you could just change the person, where they'd be nice instead of come out with some mean stuff, it would all be fine and you'd be happy. It's not depression. You're not clinically depressed. Just a bit, down sometimes. That's how you have your inner conversation. Depression is a dirty word. It still is a dirty word, okay? It's a taboo word. Everyone's kind of doing, oh yes, everyone's this and that about people's mental health. Oh yes, it's all something that's accepted these days. Horse poo. Because at some level or another, there is still judgment around it. Whether it's self-judgment or we think that somehow or another our family or friends are going to judge us for it. Think that somehow or another, they're a little bit weak. We've already been called sensitive. So, they're sensitive. And so they might be a bit depressed. So depression for us is a dirty word. It's a weakness. You can't ask for help. Can't ask for that. You want the feeling to go away. That kind of not quite right, but at the same time, not quite right. It doesn't happen every day and all day, but just chunks of it. You want that feeling to go away, but you don't actually want to do anything about it. You want what others have. They're happy with their lot. They seem to be unaffected. They can dust things off. They just seem to dust things off. Why can't you dust things off? Why do you feel that it holds, it stays, and you secretly try and churn it through? Not every day, though, when I'm saying this, not every day is a bad day, right? I'm right. Connection, wholeness, and certainty of self is what you want, and you can have that. Okay, it's not unreasonable to want it, and it isn't something that's forever elusive and you're never going to have it. You can have it. Connection, wholeness, and that certainty of self, where you don't feel that like you're going over these humpbacked roads constantly in your life, these fluctuations of waiting for something or waiting for some kind of criticism or aggro or whatever, and when anything is going well, thinking, well, when's it all going to be pulled out from underneath me? You can have a world where you don't have to worry about that, where you do have connection, wholeness, and that certainty of self. You can have it once you agree with yourself that it's time for the low grade depression, and yes, I am using that word, the low grade depression, to find a new home. You can't stay in it. The things in life, in your life, that you want to attract, the relationships, the connection, if you stay in the low grade depression, will pass you by. Your outer world will feel more pressured. You'll feel more and more expected to do or be certain things. Okay? And that pressure you will feel come to a point where it's bubbling over. And sometimes you've had days, experiences in your life where it's bubbled and then suddenly you've exploded. And normally you're really quite quiet and easy to trot along with kind of person. But it builds up and all of a sudden it goes woof, and that volcano erupts and everyone goes, woo, what on earth happened? You can't keep the low grade depression. And more, as I say, you'll start to feel that it's been expected of you, and that pressure is building. And you'll start to get to that place where you feel that you've got nothing to give. I personally lost my sparkle without even realizing it. How? I don't think actually I knew any better. There was a time in my life when I think, to be honest with you, I didn't know what sparkle was. I didn't know what it was. Why? Well, I'd come from a stressful environment. So, sparkle, that was maybe a luxury that I wasn't allowed. And that certainly wasn't allowed where I came from. Sparkle, anything that you would be happy about or have some kind of lightness of feel around, that wasn't allowed in the environment I came from. So I don't think I actually ever knew what sparkle was. There came a day when I realised, when I actually did realise, that no one, even though I think I'd wished for it up until that point and thought maybe that's where my sparkle was going to come from, there was a day that I realised that no one was coming to rescue me. In my late teens, as we all do, I think, it's a normal part of the growing up process. In my late teens, I'd projected onto someone else an idea of my saviour, that this was going to be the person to rescue me, to give me something, to give me a feeling of sparkle, something of alignedness. A relationship I thought meant everything, even though I made out that it meant nothing. Why? Because I thought if it meant something, I would lose it. So when I did lose it, which has kind of got that inevitability about it, for years, and I mean for years, in secret, I experienced self-blame, self-hatred, and worthlessness, which all amalgamated to create an inner monster that woke me every morning with regrets about the past and, to be honest, fears about the future. That's what I woke up with every morning. That monster inside had regrets about the past and it feared the future. In my experience, that low-grade depression was really about powerlessness. For it wasn't the relationship I wanted. It was the meaning of the relationship. I had decided it meant love, escape, and that I meant something. I had projected onto someone else the responsibility for my happiness. Now, depression occurs when there is a loss of meaning. Okay, when there has been a loss of meaning, when there is a feeling of some kind of loss of meaning. How does a loss of meaning occur? It occurs, and I think there is only one way that it occurs. You could analyze all the reasons to death as to why you feel out of sorts, lost your sparkle. For this reason, I lost my job back in 1982, I did this, or I had that end of that relationship then, or I had a really stressful time then and it all went down the toilet then. But it was all to do with the loss of meaning. And how does that loss of meaning occur? In my experience and in my thoughts, there is only one way that it occurs. A loss of meaning occurs when you fail to handle fear. I personally reclaimed my sparkle, even though I didn't know that those kind of things existed. Not overnight. It's not, oh wow, poof, with the magic wand, it's all fine and dandy. It was over a period of time, okay? I reclaimed my sparkle, not overnight. It was a masterpiece in progress, okay? That you start to treat yourself as a masterpiece in progress. That something that feels as though it's turned to stone isn't, or that it is stone, isn't going to be shaped and created just like that. In actual fact, the more effort and time that you put into it, the more amazing the masterpiece is. So I reclaimed my sparkle, not overnight, a masterpiece in progress. And that masterpiece happened when I realized it wasn't the right job, the right partner, or losing weight that would make me happy. It was learning to own, and I mean own, and handle fear. For I realized that happiness does not depend on anything outside of us. It doesn't actually depend on anything outside of you. You may think it does right now, but actually it doesn't. It is you. It is you changing it. Happiness is you, okay? It is you. It's not out there. And I started by facing the fear of my inner monster, okay? Because you can't slay the monsters out there if there's a big one in here. And I started by facing the fear of my inner monster and learning, and this is a big difference, not slaying it, and learning to play with it. Okay? Learning to play with it, interact with it. Learning to play with it rather than avoid or try to destroy it. Now, guess what? To help you do the same, Would it be something quite helpful or useful if you had the tools to do that? To do what it is that I found incredibly helpful, that really changed massively my own inner experience? Would that be quite helpful? If you had something that was quite simple, very simple, that did the same. It wasn't complicated, wasn't elongated, but started you on that process. Helpful? Well, guess what? I have created the exercise moving beyond the shame and rejection of your inner monster. Okay? Why would you want to do it? Well, because there's loads of stuff that you could read about low-grade depression, what it means, why it's there, or blah, 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 blah. But actually, how to solve it, believe me, there isn't much out there. Okay? So why would you want to do what I did? Because I know it works. Okay? I'm not just telling you this for the sake of it. I know that it works. I know that what I did works. Because I was not in a good place. And I tried hard, really hard, to change all those things in my external world. And nothing really felt any different until I went inside. And I've also created, funny that, because meditation is my thing. I'm known for them. I'm known for really strong and powerful meditations that are easy to do, that get beyond the surface of things, and it's not some flowery garden and talking to gnomes. It's about going in and talking to deeper components of yourself. So the meditation, returning to sparkle, at peace with the monster within, is a meditation. Very simple, very easy, just follow the words kind of thing to do, which takes you straight in, to being able to access what it is inside, stepping around the fear and allowing yourself to go into it without having to bypass anything. Why would you want to do that? Well, I would have loved that when I was in that position, because believe me, I looked everywhere. I simply create what I would have loved to have had. And it's there for you. It's there. Simple pimple. And for some people, it's the most powerful thing they've ever done. And for others, you may fall asleep in it and think, well, I don't know what happened, but actually I feel quite a lot better. Or you might think, well, I don't know meditation, I can't keep my mind still for 5 seconds. You don't have to keep your mind still for 5 seconds. You just follow the words. That's it. It's simple. Very easy. So, do it. What have you got to lose? And it might actually make a difference. So click on the link below. And first, so you have to do it the right way around. Okay? First complete the exercise. And if you sit there and go, got the monster freeze, doesn't matter. Just write something down. Doesn't matter. It's not that you have to get it perfect and right, because all of us with low-grade depression do have a perfection thing. Do we have to do it exactly right or not at all? So go and have the monster freeze. You get the monster freeze. So write anything down. Doesn't really matter. Okay? But it matters enough because it prepares your body and the opening of your own mind and your own self to be able to allow yourself to go in to do the meditation. Okay? Simple pimple. So click on the link below. First, complete the exercise. Even if you think, oh, well, I haven't got a pen and paper to be able to do it now, blah, 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 I'll do it later. Can I just skip to the meditation? No, just think of a couple of things in your head That's all. Okay, mentally write them down. And then do the meditation. Because I think you will find that it will give you the opportunity to dramatically improve how you feel inside. It'll open, if it does nothing else, it'll open a path to you believing that actually those kind of feelings don't have to stay with you. It might just set you on a path to saying, actually, this can be different and can feel different. And I want it different. Because that's all I did. But I went looking for a way to solve it. So, make the little decision. Do it now. And take your next step. And I think you'll be actually really pleased that you did. And remember this, because this is you. Otherwise you wouldn't still be listening to me babbling away. Remember that your sensitivity is your greatest asset. You may not believe that right now, but one day you will see and you will believe me. Until next time, bye for now.